We are starting seeds indoors today. This is a really exciting time of year, and it's a really important time of year because when you start seeds indoors, you get a jump start to the spring season. It's probably one of the most important things you could do to optimize timing for the spring. Summer is usually the hardest time of year as it relates to pests and disease. And so the sooner you get your plants started and grown to a nice healthy stage before you transplant them outside, the better success you're gonna have. And I do a different type of seed starting with soil blocking. It is squeaky. I'm going to show you how we do it along with my setup, but before we get started, make sure to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to my channel for more health and homesteading content. Let's dive in. The materials you need to start indoors are some heavy-duty 10-20 trays. I like the ones by Bootstrap Farmers. They last me years compared to other ones that break. Humidity domes. Seeds, of course, some fluorescent lights. It's so important when it comes to lighting to not skip out on lights. I've honestly never seen seeds do well or seedlings do well with the full spectrum sort of red lights or the little tabletop ones that are just like one line of bulbs. You want something heavy duty like this fluorescent. Fluorescents get a bad rep, but honestly, they're the best for starting seeds, and hopefully with new legislation, we'll start seeing more fluorescents on the shelves and online for sale. You'll want a timer to connect your lights to. Typically, you should set that light to be on for 12 to 14 hours a day. I usually do that overnight, turn it off overnight, so that way the circadian rhythm of my seedlings is similar to what it's going to be when they actually go outside. You're going to want a heat mat for some seeds like tomatoes and peppers that need a certain temperature that require some warmth in order to germinate. And some of my favorite seeds are Baker's Creek because of all the information that they have on the back of them, including their ideal temperature. I do have a thermostat in my location as well, so I know exactly what I'm working with. And then the soil blocker. This soil blocker comes in 3 pieces. So 3 pieces for the soil blocker. This one I will use for when I'm doing a bunch of flowers or a bunch of herbs, and the seed depth is either surface sow or a 1/4 inch, because these little nodules here at the bottom are really shallow and about a 1/4 inch deep. This is the one that I'm going to be using the most. It's going to come with 3 different plugs. One that is a 1/4 inch, and actually I realized this is more like an 1/8 inch. So this one is a 1/4 inch, this one is a 1/2 inch, and this one is just a block, because at some point you might be up potting your soil pots to this big boy. And see how this has a big square? This fits one of these squares perfectly. Most of what I'm sowing today is going to be a 1/4 to an 1/8 inch. So I'm going to use these. Seed depth is really important, because if you plant your seeds too shallow, once they germinate, they can just fall over the seedlings. Or if you plant them too deep, then they will rot. It is time to get our hands dirty. The very first thing we're going to do is wet our soil in order to make our blocks.
Yes, wet soil.
And this is an important step. You can't really overdo it in terms of too much water. The sloppier it is, the better blocks you'll get. Let's see how many hands it takes to water this soil.
It's wet.
I do love having this plastic tub.
Wow.
It makes it really easy to use for exactly this. All right, let's mix this up real good and see what we're working with.
Yucky.
Yucky goodness.
It feels so good on my hands.
That's the power of soil.
I want to put my foot in it.
Do you know that when you touch soil, that you increase a hormone in your brain called serotonin that actually makes you happy? So there's something really happening in your brain right now that is making you happy.
Well, I want it in this. It's not good.
So we definitely need more water. All right, this is perfect. So what we're looking at is like, it's a little jiggly, like a little sourdough baby.
That's my hands.
Oh. And this is why I say you really can't have too much water, because I'll show you
I want to jump
the
in
trick.
it.
So now we're going to make our soil blocks. And the way we're going to do it, and honestly, you're going to use one hand
And grab it.
and grab some of it. So you're going to take your soil block, press it in, and you kind of need to like scoot it around a little bit, like this.
So my hands are yeah.
And actually, as I get started, I'm even going to go on the sides a little bit. Okay, hands are there. Now, I'm picking it up. So it's super wet. It could fall out a little bit more easily, so I'm just getting a little extra soil, making sure that it's really full. And I'm patting it down. That's what I'm using this extra hand for. And then I flip it, I hold it on its side, everything stays in there nicely. And the most satisfying part is the push and release. Pretty nice little soil block there. And the water is like squeezed out, so it's not super excess. Let's do another one.
That's really close to my fingers. I floated on my fingers.
So again, make sure that it's all even here.
It's a good bit for it.
All right.
I'm gonna do
Nice and
now.
packed in. I'm gonna put it up right up next to it and plop.
Here, this doesn't have.
That will fill up that as I keep going. Nice. Let me finish this first, sweetie, okay? And then you can get your soil block in. Nice and compact. Ta-da! And ta-da! Super satisfying.
This is my little mud booth.
We're gonna fill up all of our trays and then we're gonna start seeding next. So the very first thing, I've got a full tray here of the 1/4 inch holes. And the very first thing I do when I go into seed starting is I actually make labels based on what I want to sow. And I even put on there how many plants of each to do. So that way I know at a minimum I need that many. And this is actually a really important step because as gardeners, we always say that we're going to remember what a plant is or where it is, but it never happens that way. So I think it's helpful to really start by labeling your trays. I'm gonna go ahead and label these, and I need 6 cherry tomato plants. I've got a row of 8 here, so I'm gonna put my label there. So always check the seed depth for your plants and the temperatures before you get started. I have all this labeled and ready to go. We're gonna go ahead and start plugging them in. For smaller seeds, like the cherry tomato, I'm gonna do maybe 3 seeds approximately per cell. Put them in the hole there. It's okay if there's more. We're going to be thinning these, and so what I want is to make sure I have at least 3 in there versus not enough. Last thing you want to do is do just 1 seed per cell in case it doesn't germinate. All right. When you're done with your seed packet, I usually fold it over twice so that way it doesn't spill. And then, unless it says surface sow, I'm going to take a little bit of my wet soil and I'm just going to top it out real lightly. When it says surface sow, that means that it needs light in order to germinate, but otherwise it needs a little bit of darkness. And I'm paying close attention to making sure that I don't have any big chunks of bark going in right on top, and that would prevent the seeds from having a way to get out. Sometimes they might make their way around, but that's all that I have to do. So once you've sown all of your seeds, the next step is to get your humidity dome. I like the ones that have the little vents at the top. And the reason why is because at first I'm going to keep the vents completely closed, but maybe some of them are just starting to sprout, or maybe there is excess moisture in here and I don't want for my seedlings to dampen off from too much moisture or rot, so I might open them up as they grow. But for now, I'm going to keep the vents closed. I've got the tray on top of a heat mat because all of these require temperatures between 75 and 85 degrees. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to drop my light so it's sitting right on top. Whoop. That's probably too much. Not though. You see there's actually a little clip. Yeah, and you're going to push that up. Yeah, perfect. Okay, now you can let go, and now you can take the extra cord and pull up just a smidget. You might need to, yeah, that's good. Keep going. You can like pull this up just a little bit as you do it, because you'll like hear the click, you know. A little more. A little more. Yeah, that's good. Probably like that. We want the light as close to the seeds as possible because as they germinate, they need a lot of light. And if you ever have a problem getting leggy seedlings or seedlings that just fall down, one of the reasons could be, aside from dampening off from too much moisture, could be not enough light, and they're stretching and they're stretching, and leggy seedlings are just a pain. Some of them can be corrected, but you don't want to waste all this time growing them, germinating them, and then have a flop over of seedlings. So we're going to keep this light on and we're going to turn it on. It's on its timer. Now in terms of caring for these seedlings, I'm not going to have to do anything for the next few days. It's only going to be after day 3 around that I'll need to start watering them. But for now, they're ready to go. So in terms of the rest of this setup, I have these lights by AgroBright. I'll link everything that I have that's still available in the comments below. And this unit I just got from Home Depot, and everything fits nicely in here. I do have these little hangers by Hydro Farm that can allow me to move the lights as I need to, which can be convenient. Especially as some get maybe taller on one side versus the other. And we are in the waiting game for our seeds to sprout. I hope you enjoyed this video on how to start your seeds with soil blocking. It is a really exciting time of year, and this is the very first step. Please make sure to like this video if you enjoyed it and subscribe to my channel for more health and homesteading content.